Hello and welcome to another edition of the Fundication Show. Now we have a special on-site edition with you guys today here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we have the Legacy Living investment team with us here. It was interesting that we got connected recently through Jacob's LinkedIn, and now we're out here helping them feature one of their projects. So I'm excited for you guys to get to know this team. So let me go ahead and introduce you guys to Jacob, Anthony, and Juan. And Jacob, why don't you start off by sharing a little bit about yourself and let's go around and get to know each of you.
Yeah, so my name is Jacob Marshall, currently working for a family office in New York City, where I oversee the day-to-day operations and asset management of 125 rent-stabilized apartments in Brooklyn, as well as 100,000 square feet of retail space. Previously, worked on the acquisitions team at a regional sponsor based in the Mid-Atlantic and managed over $250 million worth of closings. Now have partnered with Anthony and Juan to acquire multifamily assets in Las Vegas and around Nevada.
And Anthony, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Anthony McCrae. I've been a real estate agent currently for the last 8 years. I started my journey in multifamily a little over a year ago, and we're looking to build a great team with great like-minded individuals like myself and Jacob and Juan. We all have the mindsets and the goals of, the same kind of goals in achieving success in buying multifamily apartment assets.
My name is Juan Aguirre, and I live here in Las Vegas. I got started in real estate in about 2012, and started buying small, single family duplex, and all the way up to fourplexes in 2015, 2016, and we currently built that portfolio up to about 140 units here in Las Vegas that we self manage, and we have a 38 unit property in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, very cool. So, who wants to share the story of how you guys came together as a team?
I could do that. I started my journey last year. We came together as a team because I made up my mind that I wanted to do something different without, I want to do something great so I don't have to trade my time for money anymore. So I just came with the idea that trying to figure out what I wanted to do on top of my real estate, my existing business that I already have. So I decided to do multifamily. So I went to a couple of different events out in Florida and met some like-minded individuals that gave me some training on how I can get started in the business. So I already had in my mind what I wanted to do when I came in. I know what kind of team I was looking for. I wanted to build a team with people, with individuals just like myself that were very experienced in their own fields and in those desired positions. So that's how I met Jacob. Once I went to the event, came back, I decided, I said, look, I need to find a team member that, that's great at doing underwriting as well. I went through my underwriting training. Jacob trained me on my underwriting as well, too. After I brought him in. So Jacob got me up to par. I found Jacob. We've been grinding it out ever since day one. And then Juan is also in real estate, and he's also a part of a Century 21 brand that I'm also a part of, and he's already been investing for quite a few years. So it was just everything kind of happened the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, very cool. And now you guys have been working for a while. You've been analyzing lots of different projects. You've got is this your first one under contract as of right now? And you've got more underway?
It is the first of many.
Yeah,
Well,
very cool.
we briefly had one under contract that we got out of rather quickly. That's the one that Jacob says that we should revisit again.
Got it.
It's a 100% vacant building, um, and the financing is going to be a little bit tricky on it. And the seller was pushing us to rush. So rather than try and rush and put together a haphazard deal, we figured we would take a step back, reassess our options, and then revisit if it made sense.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. So, what do you guys look for when you're looking at properties? I mean, it sounds like you guys are mostly in Las Vegas, Mesquite, Metroplex, but what else do you look for in a project?
So we're primarily focused on multifamily um, buildings that are primarily 50 to 150 units. And the reason for that is we are targeting these middle market assets because it's where the best deals are found. If you look at the smaller projects that are selling, the duplexes, the quadplexes, it's unsophisticated buyers who make decisions based on emotions. And then if you go to the larger projects, the 200 plus units, you're competing against institutional capital for these assets. They're typically going to have lower cost of capital than a syndication, and it's going to be more difficult to win deals. So that's kind of why we like those specific deal sizes. We find that we can get a better basis, and higher yields and a better return for our investors.
Got it. And Juan can probably speak to this, but I know at least in Utah, buying duplexes and fourplexes is not what it used to be, and it's harder to find those properties that actually pencil. Is that part of the reason that you're stepping up to larger properties?
Yeah, and the other thing is, it took a while to get a sizable, unit count buying duplexes and fourplexes, and I wasn't exposed to any of the multifamily, um, mm, you know, no mentors, none of that stuff. And then, just like Anthony, um, started digging into it like 2019, 2020, and I started seeing what people that were doing, you know, commercial multifamily, what they were achieving in a very short period, you know, versus my journey with duplexes and fourplexes. Now I was like, I'm doing this the hard way, and we still have those properties now because can just I've never been one to make drastic changes, sell all of that portfolio and then go and buy a 200 or 300 unit. But it's something that I definitely want to do, and I think the perfect way to do it is with the group, like how we have it set up now. Have the work with people that are experts in places where I'm not, and so that's the goal.
And Anthony, how do you guys choose? Like, how do you bring in your deal flow? Who's out there, hitting the streets and bringing them to the table? And then how do you guys kind of divvy up the different responsibilities?
Well, I have great broker relationships, and we definitely have ways of finding off market deals as well too. So bringing in deal flow is actually not one of our main issues. We get a lot of deals that come through, a lot of stuff we kind of turn away. We just
As the underwriter, I'll say too many.
Yeah, so we're currently working. We got a couple that we just have just kind of waiting right now. We want to take care of one deal at a time, get it to the finish line before we move on to the next. As a team, Jacob has a lot of experience, and he's been very helpful in our business as well too, as far as making sure we all doing the right things, making the right decisions. I'm going to go out and build the relationships with investors, and I'm going to find the deals. Jacob is responsible for the back end to make sure that everything is perfect and lined up and make sure we're doing all the right things. And so is Juan. Juan kind of does the same thing that I do as well too.
Yeah, so I mean, through having the um, over 100 units here in Las Vegas, naturally all the brokers have reached out to me and stuff like that. So they, all the main brokers here in Las Vegas know me and know that we buy deals and stuff like that. So um, Las Vegas has been, like Anthony said, really easy to have access to all the deal flow. Um, it's been a little dry, I think, as far as good deals that are available in the market. I know, like Jacob says, like he's probably gone through a lot of underwriting, but we're coming, we're not seeing eye to eye on the price point that the sellers want right now. So I think he hit it right on the head when he says, I think where we're gonna be, find success is in the deals that are in the middle that are too small for institutional buyers and too big for the typical guy on the street wanting to get into their first multifamily deal. So I think it's just a matter of doing our first deal and then you know getting it moving from there.
Got it. Jacob, what does the transition feel like as you're working for a large family office and you're managing their existing portfolio to now going out there and building your own brand and your own portfolio?
Oh, it's exhilarating. Every day is different. Um, we set up a lot of processes before we came in, but you never really know how it's going to work out until you actually go out and do it. So we're, putting it together and making deals happen. Um, we're putting we're putting things together, as they come up. And it's exciting. It's every day is different. Um, Figuring it out and relying on your intuition and your wit and your previous experience to trust yourself and make sure you're making good decisions,
Got it.
or trust yourself to make good decisions.
Yeah,
Trust yourself to make good decisions. Yeah.
makes sense. Anthony, how about you? What is the transition like from being the day-to-day real estate agent to now building your multifamily portfolio?
Oh, it's incredibly exciting. I look forward to always challenges all the time, even in my day to day work that I do now in real estate. That's why I do well in my real estate business that I currently have as well too. Just taking on challenges and being up for it, and just ready to take on anything that comes your way. Because everything has a solution to it. You just gotta figure out what that solution is. There's never a bad issue in real estate.
And then Juan, I mean, it seems like this is almost a natural transition to you, but are you seeing a lot of differences in, what you see in these middle market, as you're calling it, versus the smaller units that you've bought before?
I'm familiar with the space. I've been doing it for, I want to say, like 3 4 years, where we've been buying slightly larger, properties. I think the biggest difference for me is being part of a syndication group, right? And um, buying deals for investors, and making sure that our investors make money as well, and that we're able to, to to do all the parts of the process correctly. But obviously we have Jacob for that, and people like yourself, right? But we I knew since like 2019, 2020. That's when it kind of hit me like, hey, I have to stop doing this 2 unit, 4 unit at a time. Even though I still kind of been buying them when there's a deal out there that I can't, you know, let go. But I promised myself this year, like, I'm not gonna buy any of that stuff, because it just, even if it's a good deal, just becomes a distraction for me. Um, but yeah, we started in 2022. I bought that 38 unit in Oklahoma City, right? So that was kind of the the leap, that we took in 20. I forget if it was 2019 or 2020. I bought a kind of like Van Patten, the 56 unit that's 100% vacant, 33 unit that was completely vacant, and we completely remodeled that, and unfortunately sold it in 2020, a little bit a little bit premature. um, but we've been doing deals. It's just, it's just been kind of that, a slow moving process for me, and because I was trying to doing it on my own, right? So all of the portfolio that we currently have is just, it's a personal portfolio. So um, we were trying to do it on our own. So I recognize, a few years that I needed to team up with people like Anthony and Jacob, and that's what we're doing right now.
Right. And I know there's pros and cons to that, right? Of buying your own properties versus bringing in, equity partners and raising money through a syndication. What are some of the, challenges you guys are running into, and what are some of the upsides?
Well, as I'm sure you know this, none of us are very good at marketing. No, I'm joking. Um, some of the challenges we've run into, I mean, we're all real estate guys, as we've told you, but none of us really have a background in investor relations. So while we have experience talking to investors and empathizing with them and understanding their wants and needs, um, we know what they're looking for, but it's we've had some difficulty finding them. We've done a good job through typical methods like drip emails and cold outreach. We've also have our family and friend network, which we've utilized and have had a lot of success. Yeah, I think that's it. We all have our individual expertise, and between the three of us, we bring a lot to the table. But a good way to put it, I had a former mentor say this to me. He said, whenever you're doing a project, there's going to be known unknowns and unknown unknowns. And I feel like at this point, we kind of know what our known unknowns are. Stuff that we have not done before. Um, and we're just working through them, and we're having, all the typical problems that startups have, that first-time real estate syndicators have. Um, and I think it's just being meticulous and taking our time and not rushing and making sure that we're not too hasty and that we're learning as we go has been very important.
For me, the biggest upside I think is that it's something that I have, known that I've wanted to do, right? I didn't know if I was gonna do it on my own or team up with the group, but like I said, um, trying to do it on my own has been a slow process. It's hard to um, expand and buy all these assets with a limited amount of capital, right? So I think I think on the other parts I feel very comfortable. As far as I think now I feel ready. Maybe you had asked me the question 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said, I don't know if I can perform, or I would have said maybe um, fear of failure and not being able to say do what we say that we're going to do, right? But I think now with what Jacob brings to the table, and Anthony, and my experience with buying these assets, and we've been buying 10 units, 30 units, 38 units, and sometimes there's issues that arise with the property, right? And I've been able to overcome all the issues every single time. So I think that I'm ready to kind of go to that next level. And I think right now is just being able to find the right assets and putting together the the capital. And I think uh, you know I don't feel that we're gonna have an issue or run into any problems that we can overcome.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with that, 100%. I think coming in, when I came in, I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I came in. I've been in real estate. I see a lot of things happen in real estate all the time, so I knew exactly what I wanted to accomplish when I came in, and it's all about putting the right team together. That was the most important thing, having the right team, because there's a lot of great deals out there possibly, but it's not about the deal. It's about the person that's going to be that investor wants to invest in, not the deals. Want to invest in you. So I already had that in my mind. I already knew that was the case. So I knew I'm ready for that. I'm great in building relationships. Whether it's broker or investors, I meet investors. I go to events and stuff. I meet people all the time. So they're just kind of waiting for the right opportunity to come. So there's some great deals out there. We got some great things on the table. We just kind of just want to take this deal to the finish line first. Because the most important thing is getting to the finish line once you start a deal. If you want to start a deal and jump to another one, we're not going to do that. We're going to finish one deal at a time and focus on it and make sure we get it done.
I see. So you guys are obviously now going to be, stewards of other people's money. Why should people trust you as a younger team to invest their money?
Well, when we came into this, we were kind of talking about our mission and what we want to present ourselves as. And what we kind of decided was the investor comes first. A perfect example is how we got Michael Anderson involved in this project. He was familiar with the Mesquite market and wanted to be involved. And he originally asked for a $100,000 carve out on the LP side, um, in order to join PREIshare and be a part of the network. And I turned him down. I said no. And I told him, listen, we're guarding other people's money and we're doing a capital raise. The last thing I want to do is heavily dilute my investors before the deal even starts. So we definitely go to bat for our investors. It's we all have this goal that we want, this dream. But the people who are really going to make it happen are the people who trust us with their money. So they come first, and they are the most important thing.
Yeah, And I know when we get to see this project, that's one thing that stood out to Mike is how investor centric you guys are. You're very favorable to your investors, and I think that that's a smart, especially in the beginning. And as you build more of a track record, I'm sure that could weigh more in your favor. But you guys are doing it right, from the get go. What is it that you guys would want to share with an investor that is seeing this for the first time? They're getting to know you guys. Aside from this project itself, what should they know about you guys as a company?
The companies we have very experienced a team. Our team is very experienced. Jacob has his background in real estate. He's very experienced with that. He's been very successful running his business, his family business, and doing what he does in New York. One, obviously, you heard his story. One is already he's already got boots on the ground. He's already here. He's already invested heavily here in the Las Vegas market, as well as in another state. So, and me myself, I have investment properties, and I've been in real estate for 8 years. I'm very successful. I'm a veteran, and I work with veterans alike in the military. That's active military, retired military. So, learning real estate over the years, over those 8 years, going on 9 years, it just kind of helped us evolve. It just get more knowing the business of real estate and just want to take things to a different level. We got comfortable now. It's time to do something different. It's just time to take it to the next level as far as buying multifamily assets. We're very driven. I have a very responsible team. You know, I put together a great team. I'm very happy with the team that we have. There's a lot of great things to come for us because, my team is very trustworthy and we trust each other. And like Jacob said, investors come first.
What I'd like to add is that where we kind of specialize is finding diamonds in the rough. Anthony and Juan are both very familiar with the market. They know everyone, and they're good about finding tons of deals. And as I'm sure you know, that's kind of what you need to do in order to find the right deal. For every 20 deals that you underwrite, maybe you'll throw in offers on 5, and out of those 5, you'll win 1. It really is a numbers game. So that's where they come in. And again, they're finding off-market deals like nothing I've ever seen. And then on my side, every detail is looked at and sweated, and the investments and financials are meticulously scrutinized.
What I would add is that, especially in the Las Vegas market, we definitely do have a competitive advantage over a lot of investors, right? I started in real estate, also doing flips. That's and we've continued to, I have a separate team, a separate company that does our fix and flips, and we do anywhere between 30 40 a year here in Las Vegas. And so that helps me take that that savings and already having a crew that can turn properties very efficiently and quickly. And um, Anthony has seen some of the stuff that I've done, and we do we do very good rehabs. And so I think that gives us a little bit of advantage also on the multifamily space, because it makes a big difference. We can go after those properties that are completely vacant or need a lot of capital improvements. And I think that's where the big gains and the big profits can be had for investors. I think the easy deals, like Jacob saying, you know, it's hard. It's hard to find deals with a lot of meat on the bone, where it's a simple, where it's a simple acquisition or a simple thing that needs to happen, right? Aside from the off-market deals like Lenore, um, I don't think that's definitely not a heavy project. It's a very simple project, and we were lucky to have found it through. Um, I forget if it was Anthony or Jacob
It was me,
that
yeah.
sourced the deal. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's a good example. Like, I think Anthony sent me a deal, and I was looking at it, and I was calling around looking for comps, and ended up calling the seller of Lenore, the deal we currently have under contract, about a different building she owned. And I was asking her questions about the rents and like what are your operating expenses. And she was giving me information, and she was like, "Do you want to buy the building?" I was like, "No, not really. I'm just looking for some data. It's too small for me." And she said, "Oh, well, we do have another building that we're selling that fits your project size," and that's how we found Lenore.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, I think this would be a great time to transition into hearing about that project. So, for those of you who joined us here at the Fundication Show, here's another episode. You guys got to see Legacy Living Investments here first, and I'm excited to see their journey.